It has been 84 years since Japanese American citizens were imprisoned during World War II. Our Craig Harris spoke to a West Valley resident who still vividly remembers that day.
Richard Matsuishi was just 4 when his family was forced to move from California to the Poston, Arizona relocation camp after Japan had bombed Pearl Harbor.
We were in Camp 1, Block 44, and the barracks were 100 by 20. We had 5 in our family, and it was just a bare room, 1 light bulb hanging from the ceiling, 1 potbelly stove, oil burning in the center.
Matsuishi said hate took over the country.
Why this happened was wartime hysteria, racial prejudice, and lack of political leadership. And I think that's the one we have to remember, is lack of political leadership, because the politicians should have known that it was unconstitutional.
After imprisonment, his family moved back to Indio, California. He would serve in the U.S. Air Force, married Peggy Harahata, also interned during World War II. They had 3 daughters, and they settled in the West Valley, where he was a longtime dentist. Today, he and his wife live in a retirement home just 11 miles from a proposed ICE detention facility in Surprise. Though he was only a child in the 1940s, I asked if he saw any similarities to what is occurring today with massive immigration raids.
In some ways, yes. The only thing you can do is protest it, go to your politicians, try to get things changed. But as you know, that takes a long time to do. In the meantime, people are being handled improperly.
While visiting, I told Dr. Matsuishi we had a common bond. My mother, Chimiko Hamada, was also imprisoned during World War II in California and Idaho.
So, and that's when I was that's when I was a baby.
After showing him my family's pictures, I told him my mom never wanted to discuss her imprisonment.
What were your mom and dad's thoughts about being
They never
there?
talked about it. So I don't know what they felt. And there's that term in Japanese, it's called shikataganai. Whatever happens, go with the flow. It happened, so live with it.
But he had another message.
Make sure you elect the right people and make sure that nothing like this can happen again.
Wow, that's so powerful. Craig joins us now for the backstory. Just listening to him go back all those years, and what a dichotomy there between your mom's generation and how they didn't talk, and his parents, how they didn't talk about it, and what a big deal that is for him to talk about it.
Yeah, it was really interesting because he is very, very outspoken about this. And, I learned about him actually from Mark. Mark did a story about him 2 years ago about Pearl Harbor. But I wanted to talk to someone about the Day of Remembrance, which was yesterday. That's when the Japanese Americans were first imprisoned under the order from the president. And when I contacted the Japanese American Citizens League, they said Dr. Matt would be the best person to talk to, and he was a real joy to visit with.
Yeah, he really is. Personally for you, Craig, you talked about your mom and how she never talked about it. Tell us why.
I don't know really why. I mean, she was a teenager during that time. She never got to go to a prom. She never got to go to a homecoming. She didn't even graduate from a regular high school. And I think during that time, it was pretty miserable. It was a very miserable time. And I took my mom to a lot of Japanese American Citizen League events. And she enjoyed being around those.
Hoping that would help.
Hoping that would help.
Right.
And other people would talk to me about it, but my mom never did. And I just, I wonder what happened to her or what was done to her. Yeah. And it was just a sad time for her.
Yeah, I'm sure, in many ways, she wanted to bury, a lot of maybe memories that she had endured, that hurt. But you still have your photographs.
I've got these photographs of my mom.
She is now passed.
She's now passed. She passed in 2001. This is a picture of her on her wedding day, and she was a very lovely lady. I mean, she was a very beautiful woman, and not like everyone. She's not perfect, but she was a great mom. I mean, one of the funny things that she did is that she hated that I played high school football.
Really?
She hated it because she didn't like me getting hit and hurt.
Yeah.
But she would always go to my games, and there was one spot at my high school where you could park and you could watch over down to the stadium, and she would get there 2 hours early just so she could have that spot to watch me. She did that. She did a lot of things like that for me and my brother.
Sure.
But that was just kind of a thing that she did that was really important to me. And being around that and being adopted, being white, it was a difference to grow up in that situation. And even my cousins who are full Japanese, they were never taught Japanese. My mom spoke it and wrote it fluently. She never wanted to teach it to us.
Wow.
Yeah.
And why is that?
Because she wanted us to be Americans. Even my brother, he was also adopted, he's Chinese. He never learned it either. And my cousins, they would never learn it because they wanted to be Americans. And I talked to Dr. Matt about that. It's the same thing. They didn't teach that to their kids, or because you wanted to assimilate.
Sure.
Yeah,
especially because of what they went through.
absolutely. Everything was taken away from them. One thing that was really cool that I didn't get into the online store or the video was that he went back to Indio High School. He was elected student body president.
Wow.
Yeah. So his classmates looked
incredible.
beyond his skin
Yeah.
and elected him student body president.
That says a lot.
Yeah.
Beautiful story.
Thank you.
Craig, thank you.
Yep.